Good evening. I'm Sanjeev Ramachandran, welcoming you to Digpu News Network. Today, we'll talk about management education in India and its prospects. It's a known fact that 8 to 10 million students graduate every year from across different universities in India, and a majority of them opt for management education. To talk about management education in India and its prospects and why a student should choose the best college, we have here as our guest Dr. Amit Gupta. Dr. Amit Gupta is the founder director of Narayana Business School, Ahmedabad. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Sanjeev.
Sir, it's been 21 years, more than 2 decades since inception of Narayana Business School. Can you tell us about your journey?
I started this way back in 2000, and the reason which led me to start this is my utter frustration. When I was doing my professional studies, I did realize that the focus is more on your cramming abilities and how you perform in next 2 or 3 hours in your examination. So, I felt that there is a need or a great need to change the things. There is a need to transform the way the education is taking place. Today's consumer, today's student or parent should not get influenced by so-called marketing. So what will happen is, the moment you start receiving a call from colleges and each college is calling you 10 times, that simply represents one thing, that it is the college who need you. So firstly, you should avoid all those colleges who are giving fancy ads, and any damn college talks only about placement. 20 lakhs highest placement, 30 lakhs highest placement. Our college is talking about the value transformation, value creation, teaching pedagogy. No. So don't fall a prey to such marketing gimmicks. Instead, you firstly identify what is the background of the promoters of the college? Because unfortunately, education has become more of a commercial activity in today's scenario. Secondly, what is the objective reason why they have started this college or institution? Third, the research, the most important thing, which in today's scenario, unfortunately because of commercialization, everyone has forgotten these things. See, your team, your faculty need to spend at least 50% of the time on research. That is what is more important.
But how do you get this message across to the parents or the student? Because in a market which is crowded with so many commercial elements, you say that you have a different way of thinking.
I don't think I need to do it.
Yeah.
Thanks to my alumni of more than 8,500, 9,000 students, which is from Pan India. Obviously, each one is connected to another, next to another. So when my end student has experienced and has transformed the life, he is passing on to another 100 set of people. So what is the need that I need to purchase data and do cold calling and all stupid things? I don't think that is needed. Not at all. If I'm giving quality education, if I'm giving the most finest form of education, where student himself is realizing that yes, every second there is a value addition happening in me. He himself will find me somewhere or the other. I need not have to give my advertisement in the newspaper.
But on that front too, you have a problem in comparison. That is, there are colleges which have placed students in top corporates, and a number of parents who look for placements. Like I said earlier, they will fall for these ads and send their younger children and their relatives to such colleges. In that point of view, you still have a lot to go, right?
The word is corporatization of education.
Yeah, that's right.
Now what has happened? You have a team of 7-8 people in every college, which is a placement PR team. So throughout the year, they are supposed to visit n number of corporates, irrespective of the fact whether they entertain them or they do not entertain them. I haven't approached any corporate till now in my 21 years.
Okay.
And still, we have more than 500 plus repeat recruiters who have been coming for last 20 years.
Okay.
It's all word of mouth, Sanjeev. Corporate require a person who is an all-rounder, who know how to identify the problem and solve it immediately. A person with a logical bent of mind, a person who understands his team, and that is what we are working on, and that is what we are doing it. So for us, placement is a byproduct. So if my product is good, I'm not supposed to promote it either to my corporate or to my potential student. This is what the real education is all about. There, I tell you, Sanjeev ji, I had invested 500 rupees, wherein I had brought in a whiteboard of 300 rupees and marker pens of 200. I started from that, and today I'm sitting with one of the finest campuses of Asia. And I'm very proud when I'm saying that we are not corporatized. We happen to be among the very rarest of rarest education institutions across the world who are owned and run by academicians. So the backbone of Narayana is academics, the right academics.
But profitability is also a concern, right?
See, there is a difference between lot and bare minimum.
Okay.
I tell you, when I was aspiring for some education, the only way for me was education loan. And I was lucky enough I could get education loan. But there again I had to sacrifice. Because some of the institutions, the fees was 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs. Which was beyond my budget or my parents' budget. So I had to sacrifice on that. So what we did is, we ensured that yes, the fees should be bare minimum enough. The most important thing is return on investment. I'm not giving any false commitment. You will get 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs placement. My commitment is very clear. I'm focusing on transformation. And 60-65% of the batch is going to be placed above 10 lakhs. 30-35% of the batch is going to be placed between 7 to 10 lakhs. Now, against the fees which you're paying, if this is the placement you're getting, your return on investment happens to be more than 100%.
After 5 years or 10 years, would you still focus on this return on investment criteria?
See, unfortunately or fortunately, we are academicians, teachers.
Right.
And we can never be a businessman or a corporate. That is the reason, though we are having such a massive campus, we are running only one set of program, that is management. Our core competency is management, and we need to focus on that. So we are happy with that. See, we are recognized as a research-based education institution, and we want us to be recognized this way throughout the life.
And coming to the selection process, CAT is the most important. So when you talk of CAT, there are so many people, like earlier we said 8 to 10 million students graduating every year. Almost all of them write CAT.
No, almost 3.5 to 4 lakh students write CATs.
Okay.
It is all about using CAT to get into business school. See that each business school has its own criteria. Based on their philosophy, they have their own criteria for selection.
But the basic minimum is the CAT scores, right?
Yeah, CAT scores or CMAT scores. Okay. Now each institution follows its own norms. For example, when it comes to having admission at Narayana Business School, what we consider is our NBSAT examination, that is Narayana Business School Aptitude test. It's a national level entrance examination and has a very different style of assessing or evaluating a student. We have almost 10 different parameters for evaluation. And based on that, the student moves to the second phase of selection and undergoes the GD and PI, and then the final merit comes in.
And recently, I had read somewhere that you roped in Mr. Inderjeet Singh, who is into community learning.
See, it's a beautiful story. 3 years back, I was just reading some article and I read about Inderjeet Singh, a guy who transformed the way education is happening. And I, for the first time, heard a concept who is actually being used, who is actually using, that is community teaching. So what he did was he used Facebook as a tool for teaching.
Okay.
So I found it very fascinating. And out of my curiosity, I immediately contacted him. And the immediately next day, I made sure that wherever he is in India, I should meet him. So we had great interaction. He also realized that yes, what Narayana is doing has the same wavelength with Inderjeet is doing.
Okay.
So we thought of how about let us come together and do a new beginning when it comes to changing the way education is happening.
Okay. So as you said in the beginning, peer pressure. Peer pressure is something you are trying to address. But don't you think peer pressure is always there to stay? Because one Narayana Business School can't change the mindset of people around.
See, the moment I think I cannot change, who will change? And now I'm thankful to this government who has realized this. You look at the new education policy. Look at the way AICT is working on things. They're doing beautiful things. They're making sure that yes, all institutions' curriculum need to be aligned with Industry 4.0 revolution. So they're doing good things. And it is taking time. But things have started happening, so we should be happy with that.
In a couple of years from now, do you see yourself in a position where you can influence the education policy of the government as a topmost?
See, I'm a teacher.
Yeah, but as an institution.
Sanjeev, I'm a teacher. I'm not a politician. Neither I'm a corporate.
I think,
nor I have that kind of political connections. But yes,
like
maybe with the help of your platform or some other platforms, if I get this opportunity, I would love to serve my country. Because this is where I'm born. This is where I have reached to this level. It's 20 years of blood which I have put into. So I'm always believe in giving back.
The whole country should be creating all-rounders rather than employable, just job seekers. So that is something which you should be focusing on, and that is something you should put across to the government and tell the government that this is what is to be done. And that way you can influence as an institution.
Sir, government is doing its best in current scenario.
But there are criticisms
today or tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
They will identify me.
So I would also like to wish you that your dream should spread across the country. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you. Nice talking to you, Sanjeev.
Thank you.